to week 49 of 52 weeks of focus. Next week is week 50. Almost the end of the year.
We got 3 more of these things.
Just 3 more videos for us.
3 more
for this year. We've done a video every week this year. It's crazy.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, and it's almost to the end. Okay, so this week's focus is how to deal with difficult people.
Or people you don't like. Or people you can't stand.
Or people you don't vibe with. Or people you don't fool with.
Or people that breathe and you get mad.
Hey, dang, breathe when you get
Hey, bro.
mad.
I'm asking, see, I just had to let the energy just kind of just settle down. Because I know we all got folk we can't stand.
Okay, yeah, all right. So we have people at our jobs. We have people at the gym that we may see. We got people that are friends.
Did you say people at the job?
At the job, yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did. So, and you have, we don't really have that in our families, but we have family members. Some families have family members where you can't be in a room with that person.
You can't.
So, based off of some things that may have happened in the past. So we're gonna give you a few quick tips on how to deal with those difficult people.
How many we gonna give them?
4. What are you doing?
This time I did the exit.
Oh my God!
You tried to be like, nah, I just did it.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so let's get this started so you guys can finish and focus on the work week ahead. All right, I will have the first 2 points, and Babe will finish us out with the last 2.
Yeah. Y'all own one today. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all.
So starting off with the first tip, which is love them.
You gotta love on the folks you like, but more especially, love on the folks that you don't like.
Yeah.
Difficult.
So, Babe, I think Babe needs a nap. I think Babe needs a nap. He's not in the best mood today. So, okay, all right, back to the first tip, which is love them. Starting with 1 John 4:8. It says, "He who does not love does not know God, for God is love."
Mm-hmm.
So, when you are asked to love those you do not like or love your enemy, it's harder than, like Babe said, than loving someone that you love or like, or that you're close to. It causes you to step outside of your comfort zone. It causes you to be uncomfortable at times because you want to tell that person off versus love them.
To tell them what they need to hear. And sometimes that's what it takes. But you know what? You can't do it.
Babe!
I'm sorry, my bad.
Babe gonna take a nap after this. He's gonna take a nap because he's on one.
Nah, man.
And we ain't even 3 minutes into the video. He's on one. Okay, back to the topic for the second time. So, hate destroys while love heals any and everything. You can't go around hating that person or persons for the rest of your life because honestly, that person has moved on while you still have that hate bottled up inside of you. So hate is like poison. It slowly starts to tear you apart little by little.
Right.
And you can't let that take over your life. You can't let that take over your thoughts. You have to learn to love them despite. It may be hard to show love towards someone who hurt you, but you have to consistently practice and know that God is love. Not saying, no, let me clarify. Not saying that you have to have a whole formal conversation or you have to have a whole conversation when you see this person. You can be cordial or you don't have to speak or you keep on moving, keep it moving. Because honestly, it's better to keep it real than to put on a facade like everything is okay. Because the person that is suffering is you. Nobody else. You.
From the hate.
From the hate and unforgiveness. Because you have to learn to forgive in order to love too.
Right.
So, Loving someone who hurts you shows growth in all areas of your life, but most of all spiritually.
That's growth with an F.
You said with an F. No, it's not. It's growth with a TH. I don't know, babe. I'm gonna put babe in timeout.
You just said keep it real. Growth.
Everybody ain't from the South, babe. Okay, so you have to learn to love. That's the gist of this first tip. And love will bring you peace. Love will bring you happiness. Love will bring you forgiveness. And one key point is you can forgive someone, but you do not have to reconnect with them.
Right.
So remember that. So if that person sits there and randomly texts you or calls you, knowing what you know what they did, and they're acting like nothing happened, yes, you can love them from afar.
Them mother scooters be the ones.
Love them from afar. Or there's an option, there's an excellent option on your phone, which is block.
Blizzard! Block.
Yes, there are many people that I've done that to.
Block.
Block, unfollow, mute, whatever you need to do. That includes social media too. Because those same people like to stay connected to you in certain ways to keep an eye on you. Not necessarily to be your friend.
So they can jump on you with
So,
your friend.
so you have to be cognizant of that and who's in your circle and feeding into your energy. All right. All right, you have anything to say?
Yeah. Married folk. This is 100% surefire way to make whatever disagreement y'all have work out. Love on each other. You got to. Even though sometimes you want to choke that person in their sleep. Put a pillow over their face while they sleeping. Accidentally drop some grits on their lap.
Hey, drop some grits. Goddamn, you trying to burn somebody.
These are thoughts, guys. Y'all with me. All right? Love on each other. Even when y'all don't like each other, love on each other because it does help. 100% how we make it through week to week. Sometimes hour to hour. All right?
Hour to hour. You make it far hard.
So,
whatever.
You gotta love
Are
on each
you
other.
done?
You gotta love on each other. You see it right here? Gotta love on each other. Seriously, guys gotta love each other. People in a relationship gotta love on each other.
People engaged too. Because
People-
y'all about to become one.
People not in relationships love on each other. Love is always gonna be the cure. Love is always gonna
Love is
conquer
always the answer.
everything. All right, so we gotta love on each other. What that love looks like is up to you.
Yeah.
But no matter what kind of conflict you're in, love is gonna always win.
Yes.
Sorry, that's my infomercial.
Infomercial. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so
Where's my camera?
oh my gosh. Hey, focus.
Y'all, it's hard, y'all. 49 weeks.
Okay, anyway, moving into point 2, trying to keep this video on track, is learn to give for point 2, which is learn to give. Starting with James 1:17, it says, every generous act of giving and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father who made the heavenly lights, to whom there is no inconsistency or shifting shadow. Every good thing comes from him. Every good act comes from God. Every good thing comes from our Father. What's so funny?
I was gonna give you a compliment.
What?
No, you know.
What?
Nothing.
What do you want? You might as well, because you over here laughing in the middle of the video.
I just realized how amazing your makeup was today. It was great. Usually, I don't like makeup, so you look good today.
Thanks, babe. I really appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. 'Cause
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to. It's an inside joke to that.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
All right, come on, man.
Okay,
What's
so
up, man?
whatever.
Come on.
Whatever. So going into continuing point 2, which is learn to give. Giving to someone who you dislike may sound crazy, but giving does more for you than it does for them. Not saying that you have to sit here and give them a birthday gift or a Christmas gift
Or birthday shout out.
or a birthday shout out. But the simple gesture of just saying hello
Yeah.
when you pass by them or something small helps you more than them. Or if you guys never speak again, actually forgiving them in your heart does more for you than others.
Yeah.
So the act of giving itself grows us and draws us closer to Christ. For God has a giving heart. God gave us the spirit of giving for a reason, and that's to influence those through us and those that are around us.
Right.
And that even includes our enemies now. So if you see your enemy on the side of the road and and you see that their tires blown, stop.
You don't get the seven chuckles and be
You don't
like,
get yeah. Stop and see what you can do to
God
help.
look like ugly. That
Yeah,
was
that's,
saying
no,
that.
don't do that. Stop and see what you can do to help. Or if you know your enemy, for instance, God forbid, like their house burned down or something, you don't have to let them know it's from you, but you can give a donation, or you can solicit donations around you and give it to them. I mean, not saying that you have to let them back in your life, but showing and learning to give is uncomfortable. It's not all flowers and roses to those that are in need. The main benefit of giving is to give you peace and to really feed into your happiness. Do you have anything to say?
That giving, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything like physical. It could just be something as respect. It can be something as the benefit of the doubt. It can be something very subtle yet impactful for you.
Yeah.
So it won't escalate into something else, because that hate can turn into, and that dislike can turn into hate, and that hate can turn into other stuff, and then you end up being somebody that you only recognize.
Yeah, that hate is
When
something
you're trying
serious.
to get back at somebody
Yeah.
or get revenge on somebody that did you wrong, and even if they didn't apologize for it. Like,
And 9 times out of 10, that person that did you wrong has moved on with their life, because they are used to doing these things to people. So
are they waiting on you?
Or they think that you did something wrong to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, and you giving may spark that conversation that may be the start of a resolution for that misunderstanding or whatever. So we're not here for very long, folks. So
No, we're not.
You don't want to spend that time hating nobody or doing nothing to nobody.
We're here for a blink of eye. Blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So I'm done with my first 2 points.
What?
I'm gonna pass it over to Bay so he can finish this out.
All right, cool. Point number 3.
There he goes with those fingers.
All right. Point number 3. Speak positively about your enemies. I know y'all thinking, what? But I don't like them. What? Why I gotta speak positively about somebody I don't like? That don't make sense. Well, we're gonna talk about that. All right, we're gonna go to Proverbs 12, chapter 12, verse 18, and it reads, "Don't let me speak reckless words that can pierce like swords. Instead, give me a tongue that brings healing." Folks, the amount of energy we waste on people that we don't like is crazy. All right. One of the things that I've learned lately is the things that I care most about, I talk about the most. All right. And a lot of us spend a lot of our time talking bad about our enemies and bad about bad stuff and being consumed in the negativity of the world, including the person that you don't like, or including the dislike or hatred you have towards another person. May it be valid or not, the time that you spend on that, speaking about that to other folks, even to yourself, or to them, is a direct reflection of not necessarily God in your life, but the effect he has had in your life. So as God continues to bless us every single day, we have to give him our best efforts in loving one another. All right. But if we are consistently talking negatively about the same situation, about the same person, about the same thing they did, what's going to come of that?
Right.
2 words I always like to say when I catch myself being negative is, so what? Like, okay, yeah, they did that. Now what? Like, is that one incident going to prevent you from giving God what he is old? Is that one thing gonna prevent you from doing right by what God's standards is? Because, mind you, pretty sure you've done some stuff that God ain't the most proud of.
Right.
All right, but yet He still continues to care about you, love you every single day, guide you on your path, and all that good stuff.
Right.
Okay, so we gotta make sure that we're aware of that. Also, normally the first thing we do when someone mistreats us is talk bad about them and split our problems onto anybody that's willing to hear. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves of just about people in general, right? I think we require or we want an audience to announce to the world that this person did us wrong. This person did this to me, and I want everybody to know about it. Why are we doing that? Are we purposefully trying to damage that person's character? Are we purposely, like, what is it that what physical gain or what gain do we have from announcing to the world that this person and I don't like each other? Think about it. More times than not, it's about you want the validation of someone saying, well, yeah, why did they do that? Further kind of deepening the cycle of not necessarily hate at that point, but dislike for that person.
Right.
And then it's just a self-containing cycle of, yeah, they sure did do it. And you was find yourself replaying something that happened 15 years ago, on and 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 on, to a point where you just don't like them, and then you don't even know why at this point. And all because they ran over your shoes in the hallway. Or maybe because they talked to some dude that actually didn't even like you, or they stole your girl from you, or something crazy like that. All right? So we got to understand that once we have forgiven them, we can't treat them as if they, I guess, not necessarily don't matter, but we have to treat them with the love, the same love as we would, or that God has told us to treat each other with. All right? Again, I'm not saying be their best friend. All right? It's very easy to forgive, but it's real hard to forget. I get that. All right? But that doesn't give us the license to speak badly and wish badly on others. All right? We got to keep that in mind. Okay? Because we don't want to deepen the cycle of hate. All right? We want to, bad things happen to all kinds of people. All right? And when those bad things happen, we have to make sure that we handle it correctly. Heard this really cool quote. It's probably not quoted perfectly, but life is not about what happens to you, but you're defined by how you react to it. All right, we have to keep that in mind. And I think that's what God is going to consistently require from us, is to react in the way that He wants us to, and not our emotions. Cool? Cool. All right, also, speaking bad about others only reveals your insecurities. I wish I could tap the screen. Yeah, I'm talking to you. All right. They did it now. They might have done it, and they might have been real bad. But how you carry on after says more about you than them. Because the people that you telling, trust me on when I say this, 95% of the time, they gonna probably they have said something about you, or they gonna say something about you and how you handle the situation. Right. So what you telling them for in the first place? Right. All right. Now I get comfort. Now I get needing to vent and all that good stuff. But there's a big difference between venting frustration and just I guess, how can I say this? Wanting the reinforcement of negative behavior. Yep. I had to go to scientific terms for it. All right. So lastly, by speaking positively about or with your enemies, you kind of give out that olive branch. Say, you know what? Maybe this was just a misunderstanding. All right, opens the communication portal up for understanding, and then maybe you guys can move on from that particular issue or gain an understanding of the other side, and get to the bottom of your real issue instead of just being, I'm mad too, man, and then just keep going. All right, get to the bottom of it, get to the real solution, and then hey, if it's just a difference of opinion, I'm pretty sure us as grown people can disagree with someone and still not hold that against them. All right, cool. That's number 3.
All right.
Tree. Tree. 3. Anything. Cool. And shout out to my wife, New Dude, who this. I didn't recognize her. She came in the door yesterday. She almost got scooped up for the second time. Number 4. All right, number 4 is most importantly, we gotta pray for them. We gotta pray for the people and the difficult people in this world. Well, I tell you, there's a bunch of them out here. I'm telling you. All right, and sometimes it's probably me. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's somebody else. But for those that, so the times that we are experiencing difficult people in our lives, we gotta 100% pray for them. I know it's hard. I know.
Yes.
This person is doing real bad. Matter of fact, we got somebody in charge. Well, not in charge of everybody. Well, he in charge of her. But sometimes we gotta pray for him. All right, we gotta pray for him. All right. So we're gonna go to Proverbs, Proverbs 3, chapter 3, verses 5 through 7, and they read: "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding." I'm gonna read that way again. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thy own eyes, and fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Folks, I'm telling y'all now, all right? You never know what people are going through.
Right.
You never know how God is setting you up. And we have to change our reaction to not just difficulty, but more specifically like disrespect. When people disrespect us, or we feel that we're disrespected, we have to change our automatic reaction to that. All right. Now, I'm not saying let nobody beat you up, kick your eye, beat you up, nothing. And we're not talking about that. All right. But when we reach a difficult time with someone else or a conflict with someone else, above all things, we have to pray for them, because we don't know why they thinking crazy. We don't know why they just hateful. We don't know why they're so unaware of others. We don't know that. All right. So it is our job as Christians to make sure we absolutely pray for them. All right. We have to pray for their safety. We have to pray for understanding on both ends. We have to pray for wisdom on both ends. So, so we can come to a kind of a middle ground, so we can move forward if that is your real, I guess, objective in the matter. Okay. Also, we have to pray that God heals the hurt and pain inside of that person that we're having issues with, and that it is solved in a way to where they can move forward from their difficult time. Because a lot of times, man, when we hear about these difficult things that people go through and these difficult battles that these particular sides are going at it, one or more times, both of them are experiencing some type of infliction, like some type of pain, some type of something that is causing them to act in the way that they are, acting. Right. All right, because very few people out there now, and I do believe that there is evil in the world. I do believe that there are some people that just wake up evil. I do believe that. I do also believe that those type of people are few and far between. All right, there's not many. There's a reason for everything. It may not be your job to figure out why they acting like that. And most times it's not. But it is our job to help them by praying for them and asking God to give us the understanding and the appropriate wisdom to deal with them appropriately. All right. And God will continue to lead our way 100% of the time. No matter how difficult they are, no matter how difficult she is, no matter how difficult he is. All right, but we got to make sure that we're praying for them, because you never know what they're going through. Also, choosing to pray for them, those who have mistreated you, will shock the normal person. All right, it will. If somebody's real mad and upset with you, the fact that you're going to the Lord first, not only signifies that, you know what, maybe it ain't, they just don't like me. That takes that out of Now, if you praying for a boulder to fall on their head, then that's different.
Yeah.
But you gotta pray for them, and once they realize that, hey, you know what, this person's praying for me, maybe there can be some type of, resolution or compromise that they can come to. All right, so it kind of extends an olive branch when we pray for them. All right, because that's the universal sign for help, for cry out, and all that good stuff. Okay. And lastly, although what they are doing is wrong, there are people in need of relationship with Jesus. I'll tell you something. Some of my closest friends, how we started out, we weren't necessarily enemies, but like we competed against each other in sports and that kind of stuff. All right, but some of the deepest relationships that I do have started out when we were first adversaries, and you may be missing out on an amazing relationship, or you may be missing out on a pretty good friend because you're so caught up in the conflict itself that you forget that there's a person on the other side that has their own group of needs, their own group of concerns, their own group of afflictions, their own group of whatever they need. Well, they may have their own needs that you may be able to meet, and vice versa. But you won't get to that point if you don't pray for them and extend that olive branch. All right, you'll miss out on an amazing blessing trying to be right all the time, folks. All right, so make sure that you're always willing to pray for them. Everybody needs Jesus. Everybody. All right, everybody needs him. And why not it come from you? Especially if y'all are at odds about whatever it is. All right? Anything. Cool. Your turn to do the recap.
Yep. All right. Starting with the first tip, which is love them. You have to learn to love your enemy despite how you may feel, because God is love.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the second one.
I say that's pretty simple right there, player.
So the second tip is learn to give.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to give is hard because you feel like you give to those that you already like, or you feel like you give to those that you love, or feel like you give to those that are in need. But what happens when you have to give to the person that has hurt you the most? That may be hard, but it helps to grow you in so many areas, more specifically spiritually, because God may be testing you. Mm-hmm. He may put that person in your path while they're in need to see what your true intentions are, your heart, mm-hmm. or to look at your heart.
Unconditional love.
Yeah, unconditional love, most definitely. And also learning to give to those that you know can't stand you shows maturity, because many people can't show maturity when they're in the eye of their enemy.
They petty, I'm gonna be petty.
Yeah. So when you choose to act differently from the way they're acting, that one shows that you are a child of God, and two, that you have forgiven and you moved on. So moving on to point 3, speak positive. Speak positive about your enemies. Despite what they may have said to you about you, they may have slandered your name, they may have turned people against you,
your mama name,
they may have cost you friendships, but continue to speak positive about them, or don't say anything at all. There may be times where you feel like you need to speak up and try to take or actually tell your side of the story.
Keep it real.
But those that know your true character will stick by you regardless of what is said, by you through another person, because they know you, really know you, mm-hmm. not just on the surface. Mm-hmm. And those that actually supposedly cut you off, they were never friends in the first place. So, moving on to the last point for today, which is pray for them. Out of everybody that you should be praying for, it is those that do not like you or your enemy. Mm-hmm. It is when you pray for those that do not like you, when your heart starts to change. And also, it may cause them to change.
Right.
Because God is the only person that can change that person and that person's heart or that person's mouth or that person's ways. You can't change them regardless of how much you try to talk to them, regardless of how much you may try to, say you're wrong because of A, B, C, and D. Only God can show them. So you have to let go and let God on that. Did you have anything to say?
No, that's it.
All right, so I will pray us out, and that will be it for this week. Are you really rocking? Hey, come on. All right, God. Yes, you do. All right. God, I would like to thank you for this past week. I would like to thank you for this upcoming week, this upcoming work week. I ask that you provide traveling mercies to those who may be going to work or who may be traveling or who may be going to Christmas shop. I ask that you continue to draw them closer to you, continue to have them focus on you, and continue to help them get over and get past those that may have been speaking against them or who have become enemies instead of friends. I ask that you continue to guide us. I ask you to continue to bless us where we are and that you continue to grow us in our gifts. I ask all of these precious things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you guys. We'll see you guys next week for week 50.
Whew.
50. Yeah, 50. So,
Bags.
yeah. So you guys have a great week. I hope it's productive. I hope you receive many blessings and that you avoid the snow that may be coming our way. Yeah, we've avoided it so far, but hopefully we'll see. But
also, guys, man, just want to let y'all know that we appreciate you guys.
Yes, appreciate the comments.
Yeah.
That you guys have been leaving on our videos on YouTube.
Helping out.
Appreciate the subscribers. We're almost to 40 subscribers, which is amazing.
40.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's amazing that we are reaching people and we're affecting people in a positive way. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys next week and for week 50.
50 of them things.
All right. Bye, you guys.
See you.
Bye.